What is good, YouTube? Electro here, and welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video, I thought that with the release of Spider-Man No Way Home, I thought I should do a tier list video. So I'm going to be ranking every single MCU property that has been out within these past 12 years. I lost count for a second. But when other properties come out, I'll definitely update this ranking. But this is what I personally think of all the MCU films, and I'm ready for this. If you guys are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. And yeah, without further ado, let's get to it. So we got S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, and D tier. It's kind of self-explanatory, best to worst. All right, so the first one we got is Ant-Man and the Wasp. Ooh. See, now this is a movie that I know for I think it's a good, fun film. It definitely made a good, little side adventure after the events of Infinity War. So I'm gonna give it a B tier. I definitely don't think that it's that bad. I did like Ghost. I did like her intentions and all that stuff. So speaking of which, Ant-Man. This movie's going on A tier because this movie deserved. Sorry. Yeah. So. Yeah, this movie deserved to be on A. Okay, why is it not going? There we go. Sorry. So Ant-Man deserved to go on A tier because it was something unique. It's more of a heist movie than it is a superhero movie, which I really did like, and you gotta love Louise. Captain Marvel, another controversial one. I like this movie. Do I think it was as good as Ant-Man? No. So for that, I'm gonna put on. I definitely don't think it sucks. It's not C or D tier material. I think B tier is a perfect spot for it. Avengers Age of Ultron. The introduction of Ultron, Vision, Wanda Maximoff, and Pietro Maximoff, Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver. It was a fun film. I definitely have some problems with it, but yeah, I'm gonna put this one at B. I definitely don't see it being like one of the best. It's definitely not the best Avengers film. Out of all four of the Avengers films, I know for a fact this one is ranked the lowest. Oh, alright, well, we already got one of our S tiers. We got Avengers Infinity War. Get your butt up there. S tier. 10 years built up to Avengers Infinity War. The culmination of the MCU. Best movie. Well, it's one of the best movies of the MCU. S tier easily. Another possible S tier, Captain America: The Winter Soldier. It was more of a spy movie, so for that I'm giving it I'm putting it on S tier. Okay. All right, yeah, for that I'm putting it on S tier. Captain America: The First Avenger. Ooh. I definitely did like this origin story of Captain America. Do I think it's better than Avengers Infinity War, and Captain America: The Winter Soldier? No. Do I think it's better than Captain Marvel and Avengers Age of Ultron and the other stuff? Not really, but I'm gonna put it on B tier because I don't see it as a bad origin movie, but I just don't see it as like a very enjoyable one. I do enjoy it, but it's not that level of enjoyableism. Alright, next up, Captain America: Civil War. Yep, let's go. Alright. Let's just get Captain America: Civil War all the way up there to S tier. Team Cap versus Team Iron Man. I'm Team Cap all the way. They brought in Black Panther. They brought in Spider-Man. This movie was so good. I loved how the Avengers really broke up and how it led to Avengers Infinity War and basically their defeat. So, major S tier. Doctor Strange. Very fun movie. Very excited for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I'm putting it at A. I'm going to put it at A. Yeah, I feel like I should preference this. I love the MCU with a burning passion, so, like, a lot of these movies are going to be kind of like S, A, and B. There might be, like, one or two films that might be below that, but aside from that, like, a majority of these movies are going to be S, A, and B. Alright, and speaking of another S tier movie, Avengers End Game, get over there. Avengers End Game, get your butt over there in front of Avengers Infinity War. Need I generally say more about Avengers Endgame? It's one of the greatest It's one of the greatest movies in history, and it will go down as it's gone down as one of the greatest movies in history. So, need I say more? Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. I'm gonna put it at A tier. I definitely think it was a fun movie. It was definitely a big change in the MCU's direction with picking one of the most unique but bizarre Marvel teams in Marvel's library. So I definitely like the movie. I'm very excited for James Gunn for what I very much am excited for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 for when that comes out next year. I enjoyed Suicide Squad. I love that movie. I have not seen Peacemaker yet, but when I get the time to do it, I might do short reviews for it. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Now, this is where I feel like I think Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is good. I definitely liked them, how they introduced Ego, how they introduced Mantis. But do I think it's as good as Guardians 1? No. Mainly due to the fact of Drax. In Guardians 1, Drax was a beast. He had dimension. He had a rough emotional side, but we saw like some funny moments with him. But in Guardians 2 and in pretty much all the Marvel movies after Guardians 1, it's like he's been more jokey. So I really hope that when we see the Guardians again in Volume 3 and maybe in Thor: Love and Thunder, we'll see like more of a serious Drax. So like I feel like we need that Drax again. Okay, Spider-Man No Way Home. Spider-Man Far From Home. Sorry, Spider-Man Far From Home with Mysterio as the villain. Now this one is an interesting one because the ending of the film, the post-credit scene specifically, it was very good. I really liked how No Way Home led into, like, literally started where the post-credit scene ended. So I really liked that. Mysterio, he was a good villain. I definitely think that he was a little deranged, to say the least. Do I think it's an S tier movie? No. Do I think it's a B tier movie? No. So I'm gonna put it at A. A is like the best place I can put it. So A right there. The Incredible Hulk. This one's going in C. I definitely do like the direction that they were going with this version of the Hulk. I definitely do like the direction they were going with the Hulk, and I did love how, like, now later on in the MCU's timeline, the MCU's history, we've now been seeing like more characters from that movie show out. Like we saw General Ross return in Civil War, Infinity War, End Game, and Black Widow, and now we see like Emil Blonsky, the Abomination, in Shang-Chi, and we know he's going to be coming back in She-Hulk. So I like how they're finally mentioning this movie. Like they're bringing in the characters from that, and like we know about like in What If episode 3, like we had a small portion of that episode take place in the Incredible Hulk. So I did like that. Iron Man 2, D tier. I did not like this movie. Like, this movie was, it really just regressed Tony Stark's character. Like, I did enjoy how they, like, brought in War Machine and Black Widow. Those were two incredible introductions, but I just did not like Tony in this movie. And Whiplash, such a lackluster villain. I did not like him. Justin Hammer, he was funny at times, but nah, still not good. Iron Man 3. Now, this is an A tier movie for me. I don't care what people say. Iron Man 3, I absolutely love this movie because it does something that none of the Iron Man movies have done before, and we see Iron Man be on the run in a way. We see him on the run. We see him have no resources, and we see him literally use his genius. Like, throughout the MCU, before this point, we see how he's a genius and all that stuff, but we never fully saw him being a full-on genius. So I think with this movie, it really made that uniqueness to it. The Mandarin twist with Trevor Slattery, it was funny to me. Killian, I did like him as a villain. What were his motives? Did I like his motives? Absolutely not. The motives were horrible, but he was a good villain. I give him credit for it. I give credit to Guy Pearce for his role. Iron Man 1, this is going to go A because it's where the MCU started. It's one of the greatest. It's one of the best movies. Does it belong in S? No, not really. I don't think it fully deserves to be an S because, like, at the time, it was like it started off the MCU in a way that no one would have expected it, and even though this movie started off the MCU as a whole, I just don't think it goes up all the way to the S tier level. Black Panther, on the other hand, yep, R.I.P. Chadwick, R.I.P. King, you are going straight up into A tier. You're going straight up into A tier. S tier, sorry. You're going straight up into S tier. Black Panther, such a good movie. I loved Killmonger. Killmonger is one of the greatest villains in the MCU. Chadwick Boseman, may he rest in peace. I really hope that for Black Panther 2, which they have resumed filming now, I really hope that they honor Chadwick in such a way and they have Shuri, like, take on the mantle of Black Panther, and I really hope they do Chadwick justice for this movie. Spider-Man Homecoming, another good Spider-Man movie. I did like this movie. I think it definitely deserves on A rank. Same thing with Spider-Man. Well, you know what? No, I'm changing my mind. Spider-Man Far From Home, that goes B. Spider-Man Homecoming A. In my opinion, I really like Homecoming more than No Way Home, mainly due to how good of a villain Vulture is. Michael Keaton, he is such a good villain. He was such a good Vulture. Like, his motives were good. The suit was so good, and the fight scenes with sometimes with the Shocker and the fairy scene were so good. I really enjoyed those scenes. Thor 1. This is gonna go C. Like, it was the introduction of Thor. Chris Hemsworth. Very excited to see him again in Thor: Love and Thunder, and Jane Foster in Thor: Love and Thunder. Very excited for that. Very excited to see them again. But it was just something about this movie that just didn't stick the landing for me. It wasn't that, like, for some reason I just saw Thor. Like, I understand, like, when we first meet him, he's meant to be this cocky son of a god, like this cocky god, but just like, it really didn't stick the landing for me. Thor: The Dark World, yeah, go to D. I did not like this movie. Whoa, get Thor Ragnarok out of there. Malekith, he was such a boring villain. I did not like him at all. Um, the fight scenes, they were okay. Loki and Thor scenes were so good. Frigga's death, that was meaningful. But aside from that, there was nothing else good about it. I did not like this movie. It really sucked. Thor: Love and Thunder, Thor Ragnarok, however, that movie's going up to straight A. Goes straight S, sorry. It's going straight up to S. I really love Thor Ragnarok. It really showed us a different side to Thor that we never saw. We got the introduction of Valkyrie. We saw an amazing version of Heimdall. We got to see Hulk. Hela, she was such a good villain. I loved her. For most of the movies that are on like A or S list, A or S tier, most of them are on there because they're good movies and they have some good villains. Like, minus Ant-Man, Doctor Strange, and Iron Man 3, all the movies in A tier had good villains. Alright. The Avengers, that's easy. That's way too easy. A, S, go all the way. S. Go up there with the other movies. The Avengers, it brought together Thor, it brought together Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Hulk, Hawkeye, Black Widow, brought all of them together in the Battle of New York. It was such an amazing battle. It's one of the best movies ever. What else do I need to say? The interactions were so good. Now, alright, so now we get into all the stuff that came in last year in 2021 with Phase 4. WandaVision, the first Disney Plus Marvel show. Ooh. Now, if I was doing this as the show came out, I would have seen this as a straight up S tier show, but I'm putting it at B. I'm putting WandaVision at B. I did enjoy how they made. I did enjoy how they brought back like Darcy and Jimmy Woo. I did love how they brought back those side characters and made them like have important roles in the show. I did like that. Monica Rambeau, very excited to see her again in the Marvels. Vision, whenever we see White Vision again, that's good. Wanda Maximoff, Scarlett Johansson, not Scarlett Johansson. We'll get her in a second. Jesus, Elizabeth Olsen, such an incredible. She is Scarlet Witch. Agatha Harkness, she was an okay villain. The Ralph Boner thing, that was. I would have been alright with him being revealed as Ralph, but why do they have to go with Boner? Of all last names, they could have just gone with something better than that. They could have just. There must be like another Marvel character in the comics that has the name Ralph in it. If I'm not wrong, if I'm wrong, then you can comment down below. But the Ralph Boner thing, that was so stupid. Evan Peters, I love him, but that was so dumb. Falcon and Winter Soldier, ooh. This show is going to go A tier. This show is going to go A tier because I really loved the buddy cop side to Falcon and Winter Soldier. I loved Falcon becoming Captain America in the end. John Walker, he was an okay anti-hero. I want to see what they're going to do with him later on down in the future. Zemo, loved him in the show. Loved him in the show. Loved how they actually gave him the sock. And Carly Morgenthau, she was a good villain. I think she was okay. The reveal of Sharon being the power broker, kind of saw it coming after like episode 4, but yeah. A tier, yeah, it's good on A tier. Loki, however, this show is gonna go on S tier. This movie deserves on S tier. I really loved how we saw this this full-on anti-hero version of Loki, and we saw so many variants, so many versions of time travel, and we got to see Kang the Conqueror, and it was such a good show. We saw this emotional side to Loki that we never ever really saw, and he pretty much weirdly fell in love with himself, and which was Sylvie. So I'm very excited for season 2 of Loki. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, S tier. I absolutely love this movie. Aquafina, Simu Liu, they were so incredible in this movie. Their interactions were so good. Wen Wu, the real Mandarin, was such a good villain, and his motives were good. I loved all of it. The fight scenes were also insane. I loved them. Black Widow. Oh God. All right, where to put you? This movie is. I'm putting it at B. Because oh, no, not C. B. We're putting Black Widow on B. Really did like how we finally got to learn more about Black Widow. We got to learn more about Natasha, but it's just something. The villain Taskmaster. I didn't expect it to be. I didn't expect the daughter. The daughter. I didn't expect Jacob's daughter to be the Taskmaster. I did like the twist, but people didn't enjoy it because people want everything to be comic accurate, which I don't really care for. But this movie was fun. It was a good movie. Do I think it's as good as Ant-Man or Doctor Strange or Spider-Man Homecoming? No, because mainly it's just if they would have Yelena was such a good character, but it's just something about the movie. I can't put my finger on it, but it's just something about it that doesn't make it as good as these other projects. That's the best way I can say it. I don't know how else to explain it. What If, A tier. I absolutely loved What If. It was definitely a very good show. It was definitely one of my favorite shows of 2021, and I definitely loved how they put the animation and the twists of certain characters in, and I'm very excited for season 2. Hawkeye, I don't care. I'm biased for this. I'm biased for this one. S tier. Jeremy Renner, Haley Steinfeld, they are so good together. Their interactions were so good. I loved it. And whenever we see Kate Bishop or Clint Barton again, I'm down to see them again. Eternals, Plus, I saw it on Wednesday when it released on Disney Plus. I'm putting it on A. I know for a fact that this movie is definitely controversial because people liked it, but people didn't like it. I definitely love this movie for the shots of the movie, for the interactions. Was the story kind of choppy? It was decent. The story was decent. The twist about the emergence was good. Icarus really turning on the team. I genuinely did like that. And the fight scenes were good. We got to see we really got to learn these characters as who they are with how they've learned from being on Earth for so long. I really love that. The villain, I don't really know who the villain was. It was either Icarus or Arishem. I don't really know. If you guys know who the true main villain was, comment that down below. And we're ending this one with a big bang. Spider-Man, No Way Home. Get your ass over to here. This is the best Spider-Man movie ever. This is one of the best Marvel movies ever. It's definitely one of my top 5 favorite Marvel movies. It's so freaking good. I loved how we got to see so many villains. We got to see Alfred Molina as Doc Ock, Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin. Oh my God, he needs to get an Oscar for this movie for who he played, for him playing Green Goblin. Jamie Foxx as Electro. I really did like Jamie Foxx coming back. I definitely did like him in this movie better than I liked him in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Reese Ifans as the Lizard. He was alright. He was there for the sake of it. I did enjoy that. Thomas Hayden Church. I understand why they made him be a part of the villain side, but his motivations were different than the other ones. And it was such a good movie. Toby and Andrew, we better see more of them again, because there have been rumors saying that we might see Toby and Andrew again, and I really hope that we do. But yeah, that's it. Let's just make sure. Yep, that's it. That's it. So in D tier we got Iron Man 2 and Thor: The Dark World. C tier we got The Incredible Hulk and Thor. B tier we got Ant-Man and the Wasp, Captain Marvel, Avengers Age of Ultron, Captain America: The First Avenger, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Spider-Man: Far From Home, WandaVision, and Black Widow. A tier we got Ant-Man, Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy, Iron Man 3, Iron Man, Spider-Man: Homecoming, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, What If, and Eternals. And on S tier we got Avengers End Game, Avengers Infinity War, The Avengers, Black Panther, Captain America the Winter Soldier, Captain America Civil War, Thor Ragnarok, Loki, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Hawkeye, and Spider-Man No Way Home. Let me know what your rankings of these projects are down in the comment section below, and tell me what Marvel project are you most excited for this year. I'm very excited for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness and Black Panther 2. Those two movies I am so excited for. Show-wise, I'm very excited for Miss Marvel and Moon Knight. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm Electro J, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.